Hey y'all, I wanted to talk about some of my history. I used to weigh almost 300 pounds. 289 pounds is how high my weight got up to, and this was back in 2007. My full story you can hear on a podcast episode I was invited to be on, or you can read my story, more of my story, on my website at caseydoesmacros.com. There's a link to that podcast there also. If you're interested in more of my full story. But when I was still in the midst of the confusion that came with being that heavy, the confusion that came with trying to get my weight under control, I remember having to gear up for a new diet. Don't we all do that? You know it's coming, you gear up and get ready. I would make sure I had all my favorite foods, any fast food that I knew I could never eat again, any favorite treats or meals or whatever it was. I would have this love fest with my favorite foods leading up to a new diet that I was going to start. And then when those kind of feelings creep in, you don't get geared back up to try again for quite a while, right? I would go months in between my attempts to start a new program, start a new diet, start eating less, start a new exercise program, whatever it was. I would go months in between my attempts. You know, when you start a new diet, you plan to give up things that you love. Certain things you might think you can never have again. So I would make sure that I was going to, get my fill of those things now, because I'm going to give them up forever. Well, I always had the best intentions to stick with a program. And I would get about a month in and, give up because the scale wasn't responding quickly enough for the effort I thought I was putting in, or cravings would just get a hold of me and I would eat more than I had planned, which then you can feel like you've ruined everything and you can't do this and stuff like that. So you can kind of let your head get in your own way and talk you into quitting because you can't handle it. You're not good enough for that. Now let me tell you the difference between then and now. Number one, I'm not confused anymore. I know how to lose weight. I know how to maintain weight, and knowing that I have the tools, I have the resources. If I don't know every detail I need to know, there are so many people that I can ask questions and figure it out. I can hire a coach. I can figure it out. So I'm not confused anymore, which is an amazing feeling. Number two, I don't have to gear up for a diet anymore. I am always mindful now of what I'm eating, and I know that if I want long-term results, if I don't want to get back up to 289 pounds, I have to think about what I'm doing most of the time. Even a decision to overeat is typically planned, and it's not a loss of control. Now, I'm not perfect, and I can't promise that I never do that. We all have emotional times and hormonal times where we eat more than we planned or eat differently than we planned, and that's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with that. Number three, I don't have to binge my favorite foods anymore before a diet. I get to enjoy all of my favorite foods, even in a calorie deficit. And of course, yes, it's in moderation, but that's a compromise I'm willing to make to avoid having my weight creep back up to 289 pounds. And I'm not giving up anything forever. Number four, a calorie deficit is only for a planned period of time. I can decide what works for me, how long I think I can handle it, and I know that that calorie deficit is coming to an end, so it helps me be motivated and power through the times when it's more difficult, because I know it's coming to an end soon. Number five, the scale does not define success. My daily weight does not dictate whether or not I keep going. Number 6, I don't wait months to get back on track. If I take a vacation or a planned break, I get right back on track. Hiring a coach back in 2019 changed everything for me. You don't always need a coach. You won't always need a coach. But if you decide to invest in yourself, having a coach, hiring a coach can change everything, change your perspective, change your life. So think about putting yourself first, letting someone help you figure all this out, and eventually you can do it all by yourself, and you'll feel so much peace knowing that that confusion is all gone.